Hey there guys, it's Steven again. I'm going to try today to review Giana's sister DS, and the reason I say try is that for some reason I always have trouble with these reviews things. Anyway, to start, I'm just going to do a quick history lesson here. I have a feeling that most of you guys don't know a lot about Giana's sisters. I sure didn't. When I bought this game, I learned about this game on the channel here. Most of you guys probably know it's Pete Door's channel. He recently purchased this game and he talked about it a bit, and I sounded like something I might enjoy, so I quickly picked it up online. It's actually a game that was released in Europe for a while now, but it hasn't really received an official release here in North America. It's currently only available through one website. As far as I know, it's from newegg.com, and in order to purchase it, you must have a US address. And this is actually a game that started in 1987 with a game called The Great Giana Sisters. This was released in many platforms in Europe, but the most well-known one is actually the Commodore 64 version. It's kind of famous for being a complete rip-off of the Super Mario Bros. Series. If you should do me a favor here and type Great Giana Sisters in YouTube, or on YouTube, pardon, and you'll see what I mean. It's basically level per level copies of the original game, and even the sound effects, like when they jump on enemies and when especially the coin sound effects, you'll see they look just as they did, or they sound just as they did when you played the original Mario. So I was under the impression that Giana's Sister DS was basically gonna be a Mario ripoff or an updated port of that game, but I was pleasantly surprised. It's not at all like this, and it's still, many believe that. If I read a lot of info on that game before it arrived, and everyone seems to say that it's an upgraded port of the original game, when in fact it's not at all. It's a brand new entry in the series. It does has a little nod, if you will, to the original game, but I'll talk a bit about that later. It's basically a platform game, and your main goal is, like any other platformer, it's to go from point E to point B, and doing so you'll encounter various challenges like enemies and platforms that you'll need to jump onto or jump from place to place and basically make it to the end of the level. It's a very simple method that has worked for platformers since the original Super Mario Bros. Or even before that. I'm not very familiar because I was a young kid back then, but I'm pretty sure there were some platformers back then, and it always worked since then. It's a simple jar, but it's very fun. And what makes this game especially worth playing if you like platformers, or that the controls are solid. They're really tight. I even add that while it's only slightly better, I think they're better than the recent Super Mario 3D Land, which I reviewed, just because that sometimes in that game I would slip off ledges or something, and most of the time it was due to me a slight miscalculation of my part. But still, in this game, you'll never slip off ledge. When you jump and you don't make the jump, it's all your fault, and you'll know it. You won't blame like a little slip or anything. And I played the entire game on the 3DS, and the joystick on that system works like a charm for this game. I'm not too sure about the original DS control pad, but I would assume that it does the job just as well. Giana's Sisters DS also adds some collection parts. In order to unlock all of the levels or get that coveted 100% feeling, if you will, you need to find a non-specific amount of red crystals in every level. Sometimes you'll only need to find one, while otherwise you'll need to find 12, so it's a lot of fun. It makes these levels a lot of enjoyable to explore, as you'll need to sometimes those red crystals are very well hidden. And also, unlike Super Mario 3D Land, if let's say you only find 3 gold medals in one stage, you can always play that stage again and find a third one, and it will be okay. But in this game, you need to find all the red crystals and then complete the level. If you only find like 3 out of 4, when you restart the level again, you'll need to refine all the tree you first found plus the one you didn't. So really, it can get a bit challenging at some point, but it's a lot of fun. And another aspect of this game that I really enjoyed are the sound effects. I don't know why, but simply jumping around and squishing enemies and especially picking up those crystals is a big part of what makes this game so enjoyable. And if you do eventually get all of the red crystals, you will unlock a special level in World 8 which lets you play, I believe, all of the levels from the original Commodore game, but with upgraded visuals. The reason I say I believe so is that I never played, obviously, the original game, but it sounds like it's all of the levels. There's 32 in total, and if you complete all of the 32 levels in a row, you get one of the last red crystals in the game. So that was a really, really nice bonus. I don't have that many cons with the game. I must admit that I really enjoyed it, but I do have so far I only have two in the top of my head that pop out, but I'm gonna talk about them anyway. The first one is something that is more of a jar, like I like to say, problem that I find with platforming games these days. The game starts off way too slow, and this is also a bit true about Super Mario 3D Land, but not to this extent. Problem with platformers is that they usually have two buttons. Like in this one you have one button to jump and the other one to fire fireballs, and there's really no problem with that. That's how we like it. We like platformer games to be fast and enjoyable, and we like it to have a simple control scheme, and that's perfect. So why do they always start slow? There's absolutely no need for a tutorial here. This is not a complex fighting game or a shooter. All you do is press two buttons. Like when you played the original Super Mario Brothers, it's not like the game started off with a 15-second level where all you need to do is go from left to right. There were jumping parts from the beginning. There were some challenging parts. I don't want these games to be like as challenging from the start as they are in the later levels, but I do want them to start a lot quicker, faster paced, and just like the original Mario did. I don't know how to explain it, but that game just starts right off and cranks the difficulty as you go. So I don't really know how to explain that part, but I think you know what I mean. The other small complaint I have about this game is the boss fights. I think in total there are 8 bosses in the game, and although it's really funny to always fight this out of shape dragon, a lot more variety should have been included here, because really all you fight is the same boss all over again. And like I'd say the first 5 fights are a joke. At the end it starts to get a bit more challenging there, but still this dude is really funny though. When you fight him the first few times, well, if you're like me, you'll laugh. He's really a fat dragon. You see him, he has trouble barely moving, but seriously, like, finding the same boss over and over again is not something that you really look forward to. But besides all that, Giana Sisters DS is really a neat little gem, or one that's worth seeking out if you don't mind cutesy little platformers. It took me around 7 to 8 hours to get all the achievements and beat all the levels in this game, so it does have a lot to offer. It's definitely not something revolutionary, but it's fun to play something once in a while that doesn't do anything new, but does what it does right. If you know what I mean there. So yeah, all in all, I actually really enjoyed my time with the game, and I actually went back to it and played it a few more times, even though I have a ton of high quality games here sitting on my shelves still waiting to be played. And I think that's about it. All I can say from the game. I'll let you enjoy the rest of the footage here, and I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you in the next video.